everyone, it's Miss Jones and welcome to our art lesson. You know what they say, April showers bring spring flowers. So today our art project is inspired by the windy and rainy weather of April here in the Pacific Northwest. So we're going to be drawing a really fun scene today. It includes an umbrella and some rain, and we also get to draw a person, which we don't draw very often. So what you're going to need today for our project is you're going to need a sheet of media paper. If you don't have media paper, you can always use regular paper. You just might not want to use watercolors if you have regular paper because it might seep through. But have your media paper and your watercolors along with a paintbrush. We're going to be using blue today for our raindrops. You're also going to need a glass of water. It doesn't need to be too full. I have a paper towel just in case it gets a little bit messy, which it might. So you might also want to have an apron or some sort of kind of smock in case paint gets a little crazy. You're also going to need a pencil for sketching and then some crayons for coloring. So we're going to color with our crayons and add some spatter in the end for our paint. You can also use markers or colored pencils today if you're not going to paint and add too much water. If you're just going to do the splatter for the rain, you can use other types of materials, but I'm going to stick with crayons today. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to need our pencil and paper first for our sketch, and then we'll use our paint and crayons next. So we're going to draw this fun windy scene of a person being carried away by the gust of wind and their umbrella. So it's going to be kind of like a Mary Poppins type scene we're doing today. So we're going to start with our umbrella first, and we're going to stylize our picture a little bit. We want to make our umbrella sideways. So we're not going to make it straight on the page. You can, but we're going to do, I challenge you to practice doing it a little off center. So we're going to do it a little bit diagonally. So we're going to first start with our umbrella, and kind of up here in this corner, we're gonna do a big arch, kind of like that. So see how my arch is pointed up towards the corner rather than being horizontal. So it's facing this corner here. That's what we want to do so that our scene is a little bit more tilted. So after we do our big curve here, we're going to add our umbrella points. So we're going to do a wavy line or cloud line where we do a bunch of little arches right next to each other to create some points, and that's going to be our umbrella. We're going to end our umbrella with a point right there. So there we go, we've got our umbrella already. You can even add a little rectangle on top for our point at the top of our umbrella. And then we're gonna add our handle. So our handle is going to be right in the middle of our umbrella, and we're gonna draw our handle kind of like a big J. And we're gonna add a second line to our J so that it's 3D. And awesome, we have our umbrella so far. So our next piece is we're gonna have our person hanging off of our umbrella. So we wanna make it look like this umbrella just swept up our person and that they are struggling to hang on. Or maybe they're excited because they're flying in the air. So we're gonna add a little arch here for our hand. And then we're gonna do a head. So we're gonna do a head kind of close to our handle, but not too close. So we're gonna do a round oval for our head. And we're gonna add an arm connecting to our head. So we're gonna add an arm here coming from our handle. So we've got one arm coming out. So we've got our head, our arm, and now we're going to add the body. So our body, we also want it to be kind of diagonal. So instead of going straight down, we're gonna do kind of a tilted line this way. Okay, so we're gonna do more of a diagonal line towards this right corner here. So we're gonna do it down this way. And then we'll do a straight line over. And back, now we need to add, so we did our line down and then a straight line over, and now we need to add our second arm here. So from our head, we're gonna draw another kind of diagonal line, and we're gonna make our sleeve, and then go back up, and there's our other arm. And then we're going to finish out our coat or our body and connect our line there. So we're doing our body kind of angled. So there's a lot of diagonal lines. We're kind of trying to push our lines going this way rather than straight down. We're trying to bring them more diagonally. So let's go ahead and add a little bit more details to our person. So I'm gonna add a hand here, that's just gonna be a little round circle. I'm gonna start adding some hair. So maybe I'll add hair like this, and I wanna make it look like it's windy, so their hair is gonna be kind of all up and blowing away. And you can make your person a boy or a girl, or whatever gender you want them to be. So the hair is up to you. You can have long hair, short hair, and we'll get to color it afterwards. So I'm gonna add a face. Maybe a nose there. Got my face. So I finished the top part of my person here. And now I'm gonna add my pants, because we don't want to forget pants. Right now we've kind of just got a jacket. So for the pants, we're gonna do diagonal lines again, coming out from the coat. And we're gonna make kind of some blocky legs. So we have our legs now. And our last part we're gonna do is our feet, which are gonna be kind of like our hands. And voila, we have our person. Now we get to add any details to the coat or dress. If you wanna make it a pattern shirt, or maybe you wanna make it look like a raincoat, you could add some buttons. Maybe a scarf might be nice. I'm gonna add a scarf onto my person. So I'm gonna kind of do like a collar like this, and then have two rectangles come out. There's my scarf. Maybe I'll make it a striped scarf. Okay, so far so good. It looks like we pretty much have our drawing. The only thing, if you notice, we've got this big space right here. And right now it doesn't really look like she or he is floating. It looks like they're kind of maybe just tilted. We don't really know. We don't have a ground line yet. We need to kind of add something to our background so that we understand where this person is. And I want to make my person look like they're flying or floating because a gust of wind took them up. So I'm going to add some big fluffy bushes using my cloud lines, kind of in this bottom corner here. And you can kind of create your bushes any way you want. And I actually think I did these ones a little bit tall. I'm gonna do them a little bit shorter, so it looks like they're higher in the air. Kind of looks like the tops of trees maybe. And other details I can add, if I wanted to add some clouds up here, I could do more clouds kind of at the top. I could do some gusts of wind if I wanted, with some little spirals. Maybe we'll add some wind. And voila, I think I have my drawing. I did a couple different details. So there you have it. We've added some things. We made our person. If I went too fast in this video, I'm so sorry. I felt like I went a little bit fast. You can always slow it down and pause this video. Feel free if you might be a little bit behind. Go back in the video, look how I did something if you're confused. Now that we have our drawing done, I think we should start coloring. So I'm gonna color pretty much most of my picture, everything except for my sky, okay? So I'm going to do everything except my sky. So all of these things I'm going to be doing here. So I'm gonna take my crayons and I'm gonna start coloring. All right, everyone, I finished coloring my picture. I made my umbrella rainbow, but you can make your umbrella any color you want. So if you want to do polka dots, if you want to do swirls, if you want to do a picture on there, do whatever you like with it. I decided to do rainbow because I liked how that looked. But now comes the really fun part. So we're going to use our watercolor to create some sort of like splatter to make it look like rain. Now this might get a little bit messy, so make sure you have your desk is clear, make sure you have a smock or apron on so that it doesn't get on your clothes. Luckily most of the time watercolor washes out just fine out of clothes, but we want to still be careful with the things around us and don't want to go too crazy. So, all right, let's get started. Let's grab our watercolor and our brush. So we're going to take a little bit of water and we're going to put that in our watercolor here. And we want to add a lot of water to our paint because we want it to be really wet, like a puddle in there, so that we make sure we can get this kind of splatter effect. All right, so I got a lot of water in there. Now there's a few ways you can do this. You can kind of dot on there if you don't want to make too much of a mess. Or with your finger, you can grab it and kind of flick your paintbrush there. So see how it's flicking and it's getting all over my picture? I've got some on my finger too, so just know that that's gonna happen. You might have to get your paint, you might have to wash your hands afterwards. And there is getting a little bit outside, but I'm really trying to just kind of, it's like I'm petting the brush. And you can do as little of this or as much of it as you want. You can do it maybe on your bushes too. If you need to grab more, feel free to grab more. But we're gonna just do it all over our picture. Do you want it to be really raining or maybe not raining a lot? I wanna make mine really rainy. So there we go. So after you get, wonderful, this looks great. So I got a little bit of blue on my finger. I'm gonna just dunk it in my water and maybe on my paper towel, kind of blot it off. I recommend going and washing your hands rather than doing that, but for the sake of this video, now I got a blue finger. All right, everyone. Well, I hope you really enjoyed this project today. We had some fun kind of using a new paint technique of the splatter. I need to go wash my hands, and you probably do too. So thank you, everyone. I hope you have fun, and I will see you next time. Bye.